Good morning, everyone. I'm actually on my way to work now. Got my phone on, GPS on. I don't know how to get there from memory yet, so I'm going to be looking not directly at the phone, but the GPS to make sure I'm on track. But I want to see if I can start something. I need a change in my life. I do see a lot of videos going around, people complaining about working a 9 to 5, and I get it. You know, I'm on my way to my corporate Amazon job. That's 12-hour work days. They suck. The days are long. I don't really do anything while I'm there, but I got to be there because they don't want us to work from home for whatever reason. I already know the reason. You know, they got to be able to justify the large amount of money they spend on these buildings that they sign these long 150-year contracts with. I know Carvana did that, but I'm trying to figure out what to do. You know, I'm homeless right now. Have been for a little bit. Now, I am currently good. I have shelter, but I'm homeless, and I'm getting ready to go to a full-time job. And I guess I'm struggling to see why I even need to show up. You know, if I didn't have this big-ass Title Max loan, I probably would just quit this job, get something part-time or something. Like, I'm over it. I'm done trading all of my time just for the right to be able to pay bills and live somewhere. I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I have skills. You know, I'm a self-taught graphic designer, got over 25 years of Photoshop experience, learning Blender, start life as a traditional artist, trying to figure out ways to use AI to help make my art better, but can't use AI to do stuff because, you know, people hate generative AI for whatever reason. You know, all the advances of technology that we made that made life easier, like cars and clean water, stored energy, you know, all of these things. Suddenly, generative AI is too much. You know, we gotta worry about the life of the artist. You know, a thing that I don't even think you should be doing for a career. Like, I think art as a career is stupid. Art should only be a hobby, but I got my badge. I think art should be a hobby. Anytime a hobby becomes a job, you start to hate it. And I know that one firsthand because I used to do commission artwork for a living. I never made a lot of money doing it, but with the bills that I agreed to pay, it was enough to do that. And I hated drawing. Now I'm at the point where I'm not doing that, and I do it for fun, but when you're working 12-hour Amazon shifts, you know, back to back to back to back, it's draining. You know, I got sickle cell trait too, so that just always saps my energy by the time I'm done. When I do get my off days, because you get 3 off days one week and then 4 the other, I just have no energy to really do anything. So I'll sit there on my first off day just resting, and then on my next off days, I'll try to do something. Maybe I'll work on my comic book, or maybe I'll sit down and play Power World, or maybe I'll go play Yu-Gi-Oh! But like, there's just too much time being spent on other things because I don't have the energy to do the things that might better me. Like, I want to make movies. I have an idea for a 5v5 PvP bird-only game that I want to make. And I'm going to use generative AI to help with the character designs because, I mean, like I said, you know, I'm working all these absurd hours. Like, I can't just by myself anymore design characters all day like I used to. I got another comic book that I want to do. Like, I have a lot of stuff that I want to do, and there's just not enough time in the day to do it. Don't have the money to even pay anybody to do it because my bank account's always overdrawn. So if I wanted to pay somebody, like, I ain't in good conscience, like, really can't. And, you know, the struggle, I hate it. I don't want to say things like, slow down here. I don't want to say things like, it's pointless. You should just give up. or whatever it is anybody else is saying. But I'm struggling to see the purpose in maintaining this. Right? I'm homeless. I owe Title Max, and they'll probably take my truck again. But I still have a full-time job. You know, Amazon made what? Or they did like between 14 and 17 billion dollars in sales during Prime Week. I don't really know what the number is. One of the emails that I got at work said 17 billion. The stuff I'm seeing online, they're saying like anywhere between 10 and 14. Like, I don't really know what the numbers are, but at work it said like 17 point something billion dollars. And I'm looking at that, it's like, man, if they just gave me 50 grand right now, that'd fix all my problems. I think 50 grand would fix just about everyone's problems. It'll let me pay off that Title Max loan. It'll let me get my truck fixed. By my truck fixed, I mean like get new suspension, because it's time for that. And then the rest of it I'll just spend to either build a camper in the back of the truck or buy one that I can find cheap online and put it in the back of the truck and just kind of live in that. I guess it's not hard. Right? Living's not hard. Living is the easy thing. It's just the system. It's a system that just, it eats people. They figured out how to enslave the entire population and then put all the cost of existing on you. So the job that I do can be done from home, but I still got to drive to work every day. And I could probably get by with that if my job would offer to buy gas, pay my insurance, and all that other stuff, because I'm putting more wear and tear on my truck, using more money in gas, because they want me to come into the office, not because I want to be there. I don't want to be there. I would much rather stay home playing video games, looking at porn, and doing whatever else the fuck I want to do, as opposed to sitting in someone else's ecosystem for 12 fucking hours as a homeless person. Like, I guess that's the thing that I really can't get over. It's like, I'm fucking homeless and I still gotta go to work. I make just under, 3 times the federal minimum wage. Not even $20 an hour. I'm single, still a virgin, no kids. I try to avoid relationships and things that lead to tedium, but I feel like I should be a fucking baller right now, you know? I'm not saying women should be lining up at the door ready to be with me. I don't care about that. I'm asexual. But I feel like a single person with no real responsibilities should be able to exist in this system. And you can't, right? This truck is the only thing I own that I paid outright for. And I had to borrow against it so I could pay rent, and end up losing the apartment anyway. Title Max just not even a week and a half ago repoed my truck. Or I guess the insurance company, what is it? Insurance Auto Auctions, I think is what it's called, yeah. People on their lot fixed things on my truck, stole a light off my gun, which is a problem because that's got a serial number that could be traced back to me. My 1 terabyte micro SD card out of my dash cam. And there's a bunch of other like smaller stuff that's missing. But you know, you work hard for your things and the system finds a way to take it from you. Every 4 to 5 years, maybe 6, I get set back, just all the progress that I made. And I'm done. Like, I am done. I'm trying to get a lawyer to talk about this, but they're not going to be able to do anything, most likely. Don't do it. Okay. of it when people decide to pull out in front of a F-150 at speed and then act like I stop on a dime. Like, I'm gonna hit somebody one day and they're gonna ask me why didn't I stop. And I'm like, well, I was at speed in a 2-ton truck. And they just pulled out in front of me. Like, that was always gonna happen. You know, truck's 17 years old, it still needs work, so I don't want to do things to stress components because I can't, you know, afford to replace them. But, you know, we work hard for the things that we got. You know, I understand now why farmers just start shooting predators. Because for those of you who don't know, if you have livestock, your local government prefers that you don't shoot predators to protect your animals. So they give you incentives like being able to reimburse you whenever like a coyote or a fox or an owl or some other predator kills your animals. They reimburse you so you don't have to, you know, kill wildlife. But as these farmers are finding out, the government is not making these payments. So these farmers are losing money because they can't protect their livestock from the predators that the government tells them they can't shoot. That's the first time I had to beat my horn at somebody. Because the person in this Kia in front of me is on their phone going onto the freeway. I generally find beeping your horn at somebody as rude. But it is a form of communication when you're in a car and another driver in front of you is not meeting their road obligations. But going back to what I was saying, I understand why farmers shoot predators. Because they have to protect their property. They have to protect their investments. And I'm starting to feel the same way too. We have a government that allows private interest to brutalize us. And then when we resist being brutalized by private interests then weaponize the government that we pay taxes to so they can brutalize us. So if I get no recourse at all doing things legally, playing by the rules, and still have my property taken from me by private interest, I feel like I'm at that point where just to start shooting people. Right? If a tow truck driver comes up to take your car, just shoot the tow truck driver. Because if they take your car, you're not going to be able to get to work. If you're not going to be able to get to work, you're going to lose your job. And if you lose your job, you're probably going to lose your home. And being homeless is practically a death sentence in this country since the Supreme Court basically allowed the government to arrest homeless people. So if losing your car equals a significant risk of death, then it feels like you're within your right to just shoot the predators, right? I mean, we shoot people in this country all the time over property. And I feel like this is the one time that we can say we can do it. Because the government isn't protecting us from venture capitalists. They are allowing them to do whatever they want. You know, evictions are on the rise. Places are having like 17,000 evictions a month. Like, that's absurd. Displacing families. We got the repos going in. Lots of repos. People losing their cars because people can't afford these loans that they're having to take out so they can maintain their lives. And the only reason we do any of this is to pay rent, which we can't anymore. If I want to get an apartment, I'm likely here in Arizona where I live having to pay between $1,600 and $2,000 a month for anywhere between a studio to 2-bedroom. Depends on where you're at. So if all I'm doing is working to pay rent, which I technically can't even do right now because nobody will rent to me, and then why even try? I feel like I have to maintain work just for title max, but I should just say fuck the loan, and if a driver comes, to shoot the driver. That's just where I'm at right now. Because I have to be able to protect my property. Because the government that I pay taxes to won't. We are others. And they are generally really good at convincing people to be as individual as possible. Right? Can you imagine that? Being an individual in a society, I guess a system, you could say a society is a system, right? A system that exists so life is as easy as possible. Because we agree that trying to hunt a prey animal by ourselves, because you gotta remember, humans didn't evolve with natural weapons or armor or anything like that. But we had to hunt prey. And we had to go up against other predators. Now, I don't know about you, but the human probably loses to the pack of wolves or the giant eagles. Now, I know giant eagles aren't like, Lord of the Rings type stuff, but like giant birds, right? They're enemies of humanity, especially for early humans. Bears and big cats. All right, we probably lose that fight. So we agree, together we are stronger. We form society where no one has to maintain every single skill set anymore. If you just want to be an artist, you can be an artist, because you will always be able to get bread from the baker, right? You sell your art, you give the baker money for bread, or hell, just trade the baker art if you want, right? I'm not saying a barter system is what we need to go back to, because I already know that's not going to work. I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon somewhat competitively, and you just have weeks where you can't trade with anybody because you have nothing that they want. A society that has to run on that will be an awful society. So I hope that's not something we ever go back to, but like if you can make an arrangement, you should be able to do something like that, right? There's a reason why I pay somebody else to change my oil as opposed to me changing it myself. Because in a healthy economy where money changes hands, people can monetize their skills to make money, right? I pay the person to change my oil because they need that money so they can feed their families. But at some point, we allow bad actors to convince us that we all need to be individuals in a system that does not require people to be individuals. Everyone has a different skill. Everyone monetizes it. Capitalism is supposed to be a way to make goods and services as cheap as possible. We all work together to maintain the collective. But that's not what's happening. We are instead, I guess, working together. And then when we take the success that others make, we say it was our success, right? Nobody makes their shoes anymore, or their clothing. Very few people know how to build a house or build a vehicle or know how to take care of an animal or even raise animals, right? Very few people know how to farm. Nobody knows how to do anything anymore. We all rely on other people to maintain our livelihoods. But we allow some people at the top who simply have more money than others, a thing that humans made. We allow these people to say that they're better because they have more of something. More things that other people put their time and labor into. All I have is labor. And I have to sell it to them at a price that they tell me they are willing to pay for it. And I think that is absurd. This is my one and only life. Literally the best years of my life I had to spend breaking my back in a factory, on a retail floor, bringing customers to self-checkout, or sitting in front of a screen becoming stupid because all I do is copy a script from an Excel sheet into an email box and click send. I don't even have to do anything anymore. And I'm getting told, well, if you want to be more successful, get a better job. What better job? In my life, this Amazon job I got right here is paying me the most money I have ever made in my life. and it's still not enough. How much longer am I going to have to wait now that I'm 36 for Amazon to become profitable, right? Before I can get made good. I've been working since I was 19, 20, maybe earlier than that. I've had high school jobs, and I've been told the same thing over and over and over again. Well, when the company becomes profitable, you'll see it. Well, it's just not in the budget anymore, right? They can't afford labor, but they still want workers. It'd be like me saying, I want to get like a $500 million supercar, and because I can't afford that $500 million supercar, the company has to reduce the price so I can afford it. When has any company ever done that? Reduce the price of something so you, the poor person, can afford it. Like, they've never done that, right? But they expect you to lower your price. It's not even you lowering your price. You have no say in wage negotiations. You go to an interview, they don't even want to tell you what they're paying you up front. So I'm going to change my strategy on some things. I'm going to try to deal with this Title Max thing as soon as possible. Maybe reach out to a group that'll buy the debt and give me something more favorable. But I'm dropping out. I'm fine working minimum wage jobs for nothing. I figure once I own this truck again and I can own my camper, then I won't have to pay anybody, and then I can just save my money. If I want to keep this Amazon job, then maybe I'll keep it. But I don't know. I gotta do things on my terms again, you know? I'm almost 40. And my life keeps destabilizing. At some point, I'm just gonna have to do the things that I don't want to do. Like shooting people, I guess. I'm not saying shoot people, but at the end of the day, if your government's not doing what they say they're going to do, then you got to protect yourself. Be good. I'm at work and we'll be here for the next couple hours or till 6 p.m., but I'm out.